Yeah. So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether my screen is visible or not? Anyone, right? Fine. So
Hello, sir.
yes.
Sir, could you help me with the installation process?
In which one? In Mac OS we're talking?
Mac OS, sir.
In Mac OS totally different. You need to follow a lot of other steps, right? I'll discuss it later. Otherwise, you can just okay. You can discuss it. Or you can ping me in WhatsApp right later. Fine. In the Mac OS totally different. You need to follow totally not what we have got. Different commands will be there in Mac OS. Yes.
Recording in progress.
If you are sharing your video, you will be removed from the meeting. Yes. So everyone, please off the video. Okay. Fine. I hope the sound is clear and the screen is visible to everyone, right? So hope everyone have installed a DJANGO, as they only like 3 steps, right? Just in Python installed folder, we need to install a virtual environment, right? By using pip install virtual env. After installing virtual env, you can see that virtual env in your Python installed folder, right? In the Python installed folder. After that virtual env getting installed, right? Next, what you will do? You will create a virtual environment. Where you will create virtual environment? We have created a folder, DJANGO apps folder, right? DJANGO apps folder is the folder where you are going to save all your projects. Where you are going to save all your projects, right? Okay. And also your virtual environment also available in DJANGO apps. You are supposed to each and every step you need to understand, right? For developing web applications. So virtual environment, why we will be creating? I want the sessions to be interactive and parallelly try to do along with me. It's not like if you're listening to the sessions, you won't, but you are supposed to do parallelly along with me, right? Virtual environment, why we are creating virtual environment means, so if any changes, modifications done, it should not affect the original Python software which is available, right? So I'm bringing that into this DJANGO apps folder virtually. Fine. So one second. I created a separate folder for this batch. One second. In the see the Python DJANGO weekend 9 a.m. Just I created a folder DJANGO weekend 9 a.m. As they have forwarded you these 3 files, right? DJANGO introduction, DJANGO installation, and DJANGO first app creation, right? So what are the steps involved here? To say me the steps. So whenever you are doing parallel along with me right now, the same application. Now we are doing first 3-4 applications, 2-3 applications, very small, very small applications for your understanding. How to create project, how to create application, how to start the server. So you are supposed to do the same application later once you go home, right? You are supposed to do the same application without seeing from the start to the end. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Here, how many steps you are able to see, right? One second. You are able to see some steps, right? So 8 steps are there. So now you got 8 steps. Later you will get some 12 to 15 steps next in the coming applications. So this all thing you are supposed to do for that getting command on this web applications creations. You are supposed to do everything without seeing. Once again, the same application or different application. I'll be giving some kind of assignment task later once we are done with some 4-5 applications, right? So that you will get the total. First 3 or 4 what are the steps will be same for all project, right? Project application creations. So hope once again every one of you remove the DJANGO apps folder that you have created and recreate again for your understanding how to create virtual environment, right? Remove that DJANGO apps folder. After going home, again you create the DJANGO apps folder and install virtual environment in it again. Already that virtual environment in your Python will be available, no need of that step. Directly creating virtual environment. And how to create a project application again, the yesterday's and today's whatever we discussed, try to do it again, right? Yes, fine. What are the steps? Try to say me the steps. First one. But one thing, first we'll be discussing about the complex. Later you'll see this in PyCharm. All these are not required. It takes 2 minutes to create an application. Here this many steps are there. In PyCharm you will see only 3 steps. Here 8 steps are there. In PyCharm directly we have got ready to use the structures that are available, right? Directly you can open it, give the project name, give the application name, just create it, or both will be created, and everything. No, we won't see this many of steps. Even virtual environment will create automatically, project name, application name, everything will create. So first we'll go with this. Later we'll go with that. First we'll go with the complex part. Later we'll go with the easy steps, right? Virtual environment name only once if you are creating, it's fine. For all that, for the entire applications, only one virtual environment is enough. You can create multiple virtual environments also. DJANGO apps folder I've created. DJANGO apps 2 folder I'll create. Apps 3 folder I'll create. Right? Okay. So now try to say the steps. First step is what, everyone, if you are done with that yesterday's application, basic starting the first application, first DJANGO application. Say me the steps. What is the first step? Activating virtual environment. Activating virtual environment, first step. Second step, creating or starting project. Creating or starting project. Next, creating or starting application. So compulsory project will be, application will be there, project folder and application folder. Creating or starting application. In project folder, yesterday we have used one .py file. What was the .py file? urls.py. So generally, if you observe what happens in the websites, in any web applications creations, I'll just show you that, let's discuss that DJANGO architecture. But once we are done with 2-3 applications, you'll come to know, right, what is happening in the application. Later I'll discuss that architecture of it. See, for example, this is your browser, Chrome browser, right? This is your Chrome browser. In the browser, just you are giving the request. For example, demo.com. This is the request you are providing, request you are giving, right? This request first goes where, to which file it will go? urls.py. It will go to which file? urls.py file, right? Yes. It will go to urls.py. From that urls.py, you can give multiple URLs. Multiple URLs you can specify. I'll give demo.com, sample.com, or test.com. These three URLs. For example, you have given some URLs like demo, sample, test. First, this demo, whatever you have given, is it present within these URLs or not? Present. If present, then it will go forward. If not present, it gives error there. Or if you are giving sample, sample.com also, then it will, it goes forward, right? Test. For every URL, right? We have got a view function, and a view function is associated. Yesterday we have given one display function, right? For this display function. For this also, if you want, you can give display function, or if you want to give some other function, like display to function, or any function you can do, right? For all this, you are giving display function only. Means every URL, there is one function associated. Whenever I give this URL, which function to be executed? This particular display function need to be executed. And in this, you can directly give that output. If you give Python output, right? Python output, what happens? You won't get any font, colors, web page, anything. So that's why I will give HTTP response. I will use that. This display is returning what? HTTP response. HTTP, nothing but HTML response with a different font, colors. If you want the tables, other things, you can display it. This output again will be displayed on this web page. Understand this. If you are giving anything, it will go to the urls.py. From that, it will go to this display any function, and from there it goes to this and displays that, right? Understood, everyone? Yes. Coming back, right? Same with the steps: creating virtual environment, activating virtual environment, creating or starting project, creating or starting application. Yes. Next step. What is the next step? In the Django application, right? After starting application, specifying URLs in urls.py file. Next, views. Okay, specifying functions in views.py. Specifying a function in views.py, right? Next, migrate. Migrate means to check for errors or any other, but as of now I'm saying it is for check for errors, but later I'll just say it has got multiple other functionalities. Migrate. Next, run server, right? Okay. Next, giving request in the browser. 8 steps. Yesterday also we got 8 steps, right? These 8 steps will be common up to now. Giving request in the browser, okay. For creating or starting the project, right? What is the command? Here we are using command for creating, starting project, creating application, creating application or creating file. We are using commands, right? But once you go to the PyCharm, right, no need of any command. It will ask, enter the project name, enter the application name. You enter and say create, they will be created. No need of any command, right? Now say the command for starting or creating project. Yes, everyone loudly. DJANGO -admin start project. Yes, start project, project name, project one, right? Project name, right? DJANGO-admin start project, project name. Yes. For application, you say me for how to create application. What is the command for creating application? Python manage.py, manage.py, start app, application, app name, application name, right? Yes. Whatever application you want to give, you can give demo app or sample or any application name. Specifying URLs. What is that? Where? How will you specify here? Repath. There is a repath, re_underscore path. Okay, within that raw string. This is this starts. This symbol is called as start symbol. Here we need to follow this every time. We need to give the same thing. This command won't change. This command won't change. This also won't change. All this try to understand. Re_underscore path for giving URL. Raw string. Start. This is what start with. Start with whatever you want to give that URL name. URL name, right? URL you can give. And just I'm saying URL. And this is dollar end. This is starts with, ends with. This dollar means ends. This start with this, end with this. Okay, comma. Whenever I give URL, which function to be executed? Views dot the function name. Views dot function name. Which function to be executed? The function name, right? Which function to be executed? That is what. Specifying views.py. What is it? def function name, right? Using def keyword, function name. Okay, define the function, defining the view function, right? Yes. Migrate. What is that command for migrate? Py Python. Py you can say first you say Python. For py or Python you can say. For this also you can say Python. For this also you can say Python, right? Python manage. So for this also Python manage.py. For this also manage.py migrate. Manage.py migrate, right? Yes. This also Python, the same steps, the same thing you can copy paste. Python manage.py, yes. Manage.py run server, right? Yes. Giving request in the browser. So here model view template. Okay, I'll discuss MVT. Python follows MVT architecture, right? So first we'll see the basic application. Later I discuss those things, right? First I'll go with templates. First I'll go with views. Next templates. Next model. Commanding. Okay, fine. Now giving request means generally http://localhost. Localhost means it takes that. Okay. HTTP localhost colon. Localhost means your current system, that system whichever. Okay, localhost colon port number of DJANGO 8000 comma URL name. The URL name, right? Understand? Here you can give localhost, you can give. Otherwise, you will get that whenever you run the server, you will get this entire thing. You will get. No need to. Okay. Otherwise, you can also give localhost. You will get that IP address 127.0.0 something. You will get that you can give. Otherwise, localhost. If you say that's enough. If remote host, you need to give that IP address of that. And give that. Okay. URL name. Understood? These are the steps. Okay. I'll forward you this every day the documents will be getting that of the document of that application, right? Whatever applications you are discussing. Okay. Okay. Port number of DJANGO. This is where exactly this 8000, right? For Tomcat 8080. For Oracle also 8080. There will be some port number where they'll get installed, right? Yes. So these are the steps involved, right? Already we have seen one example yesterday. But I'll show you one more different kind of example, right? You just try to do one more application yourself. Try to print something. Yesterday I said just printing some. Okay. Welcome to Python. Welcome to Python. We have said right yesterday. You can just try to print a message. Okay. And this was that application we discussed now. Okay. Now try to say me parallelly and try to do parallelly right along with me. We'll develop one more. So before that, I want to just show you some date and time related application I want to work with, means in the data and time related. In Python, we doesn't have date or time data types not available. Date time data types not available. Okay. Import date time. Import date time. Okay. Print. One second. I want today's date and time. Current date and time. Print date time. Observe date time. You can just do this in ideally, right? In normal ideally, you can open one ideally and just try to do this. If you want to printing the current date and time, print date time. Okay. Otherwise, store it in a variable. Okay. Date equal to date time dot date time dot now. Print date. Store it in a variable called date. This entire thing date time dot now. Okay. Module name, class name, method name, right? So store it in a variable and print that date. Print the date. Store it. Control S. Run it. Datetime dot py, right? Yes. Okay. Just execute it. Just execute it. Is it printing the current date or not? Check it. What is the current date? 17/4/2022, right? Yes. Ten 04. What is that? Time. Now what is the current time? 10/4. Hours, minutes, seconds, microseconds. Okay, fine, right? Yes. Okay, this is what printing the current date and time. Now just the same thing I want to display and apply in the browser. I want to display some current date time. Okay, so a small application, right? Date application. So yesterday we have printed some message. What is that? Welcome message, right? But now I want to print some date time of date time things. Later we work with some other computations processing, right? Fine. Now just for your understanding, first everyone try to open Atom. Everyone done the installation of Atom, right? You have installed Atom in your systems, right? One second. Atom, open Atom ID. First 5-6 applications I'll show you on Atom. Later I'll show you on VS Code. Later I'll show you some 10 to 15, later 10 to 10 applications on PyCharm. So already you have got one okay, one second. This will be there, right? Close all this, close all this. You are able to see my screen, right? Visible everything. See, close all this, close this, close this, close all this previous whatever you got, which are got. Okay. Close this, close all this, and minimize this my project one. Here you can minimize here by clicking here, right? Minimize this my project one. It got expanded, right? Now minimize it. Now I want to create my project two, right? I want to create my project two. You should be able to see what version of Django you are using. 4.04, 4.04 LTS version, long-term support version, right? Fine. Now okay, now just to go at the bottom in the search panel, type cmd and go to the command prompt. So I'm just opening a separate. I'll write steps here for your for creating notes parallelly. I'll create the notes for this application, right? Okay. So what is your project name? You can give any name. My PROJ2, my project 2 I'm giving, right? Next application name. Give it as data. Step 1, activating virtual environment. Activating virtual environment. Okay, just observe. I'll go to a command prompt. Go to command prompt, and what I should type here? Yes, cd, come out of this path which is already available. Now go to your path where your virtual environment scripts activate is available. See, in Django apps, my virtual environment is available. My venv, what is the name? Whatever name you have given, if you have given the same name, my virtual env, within that scripts activate. Yes. cd, change your directory to DJANGO apps folder. DJANGO apps folder. Within the DJANGO apps folder slash scripts, sorry, my virtual environment, right? My venv. Within that scripts. Within that scripts. Say enter. You got that, right? Now say activate. Say activate and say enter. You should get this in the. Understood? But if you feel that you forgot that part, otherwise you instead of printing all this, I'll just share one shortcut method, right? I'll just a shortcut method to activate. 1 second. I'll copy this. So just clearly I have mentioned, right? 1 second. So if you get any errors, you can just 1 second. If you got any error in any of the step, right, immediately you can just intimate me so that you can share your screen. If anybody facing problem, right, you can just share your. You can create multiple virtual environments possible. DJANGO for 3 version, I'll create one virtual environment. For DJANGO 4 version, I'll create one virtual environment. For DJANGO 2 version, I'll create one virtual environment. Because tomorrow my application it's already done in so and so. So I can go with which virtual environment which I want, I can go, right? In that DJANGO apps 1, what DJANGO version 2 is there. DJANGO apps 2 version 3 is there. DJANGO version 3. In DJANGO, in that way, multiple virtual environments can be created. Multiple virtual environments can be created. The same process. Only thing is, you create some different folders. Here one folder, here one more folder. Tomorrow, if you want which folder you are opening, here I am opening DJANGO apps here. Otherwise, DJANGO apps 2 you open or apps 3 you open, right? 1 second, right? Next. I said this is activating virtual environment. You will see that virtual environment within the bracket. This is what activated. Shortcut means directly go to your DJANGO apps folder. Just to go to your DJANGO apps folder, right? Within the C drive, go to DJANGO apps folder, right? Within the DJANGO apps folder, go enter into virtual environment. Yes. Enter into the scripts folder. Enter into the scripts folder, right? Here you can see activate, right? Yes. Click here in the address bar. Click here in this address bar. Remove that everything. Just type CMD. What is that? CMD you say. You will get this path, right? You got that path, right? Just say activate. That's enough. Yes. Just say activate. Enter. Activated, right? Just to go to your DJANGO apps folder, my virtual environment folder, scripts folder. In the address bar, remove everything and type CMD. Everything appears here. Yes. Instead of doing some kind of typo or misspelling again, you can just say activate there. It gets activated, right? Yes. Okay. Next. Next is what is the next step? Next step. Creation of project. Where I need to create the project? In DJANGO apps folder, right? I need to create the project in DJANGO apps folder. DJANGO apps folder means I need to come out. Okay, I need to come out of these scripts. I need to come out of this virtual environment in DJANGO apps. I need to create. How to come out of it? CD dot dot. I came out of scripts. Again say CD dot dot coming out of virtual environment, right? DJANGO apps. Where I am currently? In which DJANGO apps? Now say the command. DJANGO hyphen admin start project my project 2, or you can give any name, right? You can just select. Now whatever you want to perform, everything should be performed from the project folder. Whatever you want to do, creation of application should be done in the project folder. Start server within the project folder. Migrate within the project folder. Which project? CD, change your directory to my project to my project to. You can see this, where you are currently now, in my project to. I'm copying these steps. There will be many py files will be created in this project folder. We'll be seeing one by one later, right, in our course. Then .py files be default files. .py files will be there. Yes. What is that? Step 2. Step 2. If you got error, right, online, you can just say I got error. Just I will ask you to share your screen, right? Try to do parallelly. It's hands-on, right? Step 2. What is it? Creating or starting project. Yes, starting project. So currently you are in which? My project 2. If you want to see what are the files which are created in my project 2 folder, by default some Python files are created, right? So yes, you can see that the files. You can see in autumn, right? My project 2 you got, right? Yes, my project 2 you got. Previously it wasn't there. Now you got my project 2, right? Yes. Previously only my project 1 was there. Now you got my project 2. By default, if you click it, you will see my project 1 more folder you will get. In outer folder, inner folder, 2 folders will be there. If you observe this, within this inner folder, you got what? init.py, urls.py. Yes. If anyone has done with the packages concept in Python, init.py empty file, you can see this is an empty file. Okay. URLs, as of now, I'll be discussing about urls.py only. Later I'll discuss about settings.py, right? Okay, I'm minimizing everything. Okay, just you understand this, right? So if you want to see the structure from this what is that tree, I want to see the tree structure. See one more thing, if you observe in this my project 2 you have created, along with the project manage.py file is created. Manage.py, using this manage.py only you will create application. Using this manage.py only you will run server. Using this manage.py only you will migrate. Python manage.py, creation of application, starting server, or migrating everything up will be done with this manage.py. So in the interview, they ask, where will you see a file called manage.py? If you're really done with that any application, right? They'll ask, where will you see a file called manage.py in that Python? First, they'll ask, where will you see that? Means, where will you see that? In the project folder, you'll be one more inner project folder will be there. In the inner project folder, you will be see. It is not in the inner project folder, sorry, in the outer project folder. If you minimize this inner project folder, is it in inner project or outer project? Outer project folder. You need to be say, if you're not really done with that application set, you should be able to say what is manage.py, what is urls.py, what is init.py, what is settings.py, what is admin.py, what is forms.py. Many py files will be there by default. In we won't create it automatically, they'll be created, just we need to do small changes in that files. Understanding? Fine. So this manage.py, what is the use of manage.py means? What is your answer? Using that, you will create application. Using manage.py only, you will run server. Using manage.py only, you will migrate. Okay. So all this. So when this manage.py file gets created, when this manage.py file will be created means when you create the project folder. Now using this manage.py, next create application, right? What is the next step? If you want to see the structure of what is present in the project, in my project 2, what is present means tree/f, you can say, right? The tree structure you can get. Manage.py will be available. My project 2 will be available. In that many Python files. Okay. urls.py, settings.py, wsgi file, asgi. Okay. So okay, these files later I'll discuss one by one, but as of now you will explore this urls.py, right? Yes, tree/f is. So some of you, for this the command won't work, not a problem. See that whether this project folder is created or not. Control C. I'm copying this also, right? The structure. If you want to check starting project, Control V, and paste it here. Don't think there is some huge codings here. Yes, just what I did, started project and see the structure, right? Now step 3, you say, just to try to say step 3. Yes. Creating or starting application. Just try to say me the command. So while creating, why most of you will do mistake, right? Without going into this by my project 2, directly you will try to create project in DJANGO apps. First enter into project. Which project? My project 2 or my project 3 or my whatever project. Enter into the project. In that project only you need to create an application or starting for everything, right? Now say me the command now. Yes, command. Yes, Python manage.py. Yes, start app, date app, right? D capital I given, A capital I given. Not compulsory. If you are giving uppercase here, try to, wherever if you are using application name in your project, try to use the same thing. Yesterday, like I have seen some of you here, you are giving uppercase during the project. If you are using the same application name, you are giving lowercase names, right? So date app, you are given date app. If you want to see what are the py files which are created in data app, cd data app, you say cd data app. Can you see anyone? Can you say me any one file which is present in data app? Yesterday we have seen one file. We have worked with one file in that .py, views.py. So firstly, initially, if you really did a project or not, if they want to test you, they will ask views.py will be available where. If you are unable to say means they won't continue with their interview. Views.py will be available where? Application folder or project folder? Application folder. urls.py will be where in project folder or application folder? Project folder. that you need to know where in which file. So you will see cd data app, you say cd data app and say tree/f, right? Tree/f. You can see that total, what you can see, views.py. As of now, views.py only I'm discussing, but later you need to remember what are the files present in application folder, what are the .py files present in the project folder. Same, views.py. Okay, every folder will have init.py file. Okay. Test.py. Models means for databases we use this. Admin for admin sites. Okay, later I'll discuss about the other things, right? Okay, understood this. This step is not required if you want to see what files are present in that, but first time, right, for the first 1-2 applications I'll show you what is present in that. Later every time no need to check what is there in that, but you need to know, you need to remember these file names. But as we are not done with this, right, later you will come to know about all this. You need to display what are the files present in application folder. You should be able to say what are the .py files present in project folder. You should be able to say, whether you do in PyCharm or Atom, anything, this will be the same. Project folder, application folder, everything will be the same, right? If you have got any mistake, or if you got now itself in the same step only you discuss, after going to the 7th step I got error in the third step, don't say that. Yes, even you need to know why the error will occur, how to rectify that error if any error occurs. Step 3, okay, next step 4 is what? So here just this one line is enough. This one line is the only thing required. This all not required. I just pasted in your, why? Because just to know, enter into the data. Okay, these things just I pasted, right, for your observation, but only this one statement is enough. The step 3. So you need to say cd data app and say enter. Cd data app you say and enter you say first and say tree/f. So here people, what you are saying, your cd data app you are typing and keeping greater than symbol and tree/f you are not like that. Cd data app you say and say enter first. Oh. cd data app and say enter first, you will get that data app. Now you say tree/f, right? Understood. Now yes, yes, okay, fine, right? Now got it. Now go and check in Atom what happened. You need to clearly understand about this structure. What is happened? Just I'm minimizing this project, my project, to everyone. If I just expand my project to what you are able to see, what folders you are able to see: application folder, data, project folder, my project. My project to what you will see them .py files. In data app also you will see this many Python .py files, right? These are created, right? Now next step, what is the next step? Step 4, yes, go to urls.py, go to and specify the URLs and specify the URLs. Specify the URLs, right? Yes. Now go to this atom. Everyone directly go to that atom, right? Where that urls.py file will be available? My project to inner folder, right? So after doing in the previous experience from the students, right? urls.py, go to urls.py means they immediately see all the files in application and project and where it is available. So immediately you need to go to project folder and then immediately need to check for urls.py. Tomorrow you will see many folders in your project, right? No need to open one my folder and check where that urls.py is there, right? Immediately you need to see, immediately go to the project folder, project name, and go to that. Here I have given my project too. Tomorrow you will be having a project name, a very big project name. So immediately go to urls.py means go to that immediately your project folder, click that urls.py and specify that urls.py, right? Yes. Okay. So here you can see something about the urls.py, URL patterns, list routes. Okay. This is multi-line comment. It's just like a comment, right? Multi-line comment. Just you can remove this comment, not required. Delete it. Delete that entire comment. Just to say re_path. Just I am specifying a URL now. Okay. 1 second. 1 second. There is admin site. Admin URL is there. Admin URL. Now, as of now, we are not going to discuss. Later, once we are username, password, if you are giving for your project application, right? At that time, this admin is required. So for this admin, there is a import statement admin here. What is this means? And for this path, one import statement is there. Path. Understood, Malesh? For this path, one import statement. For this admin, one import statement. Fine. You can use path also for giving your URL. Otherwise, repath also you can use. So why I'm not using path means to know about something about repath. Previously in 3 version, instead of you are using the function called URL function was there. URL function only was there in 3 version. But from 4 version onwards, instead of URL, you will get error. You need to say re_path. Re_path. Otherwise, you can also use path also. Path function. Later we'll see some examples later, right? Using path. Yes. Re_path. Now try to say raw string or starts with means this symbol. Try to understand what I'm writing. Raw string or one single quote starts with what is that URL? What is your application name? Demo application. You can give any URL. Date, right? Date I'm giving. Just I'm giving date. Start with and end with date only. Just if you give the date, then close the quote, single quote. Close the single quote. This starts with, this is the start with symbol. This is end with symbol. This is date. If I give this URL right in my browser window, which function to be, you can give any function name within the views. Define a function, input function, any function name we can give, input function, views dot input function to be executed. Now what are the URLs we need to import? One is for repath, one URL we need to import. For views we need to import. For repath means the same URL. For path or repath, you can say comma re_path, re_path you can say, right? Yes. And for views, where these views are available in a application folder data app, right? These views also we need to import. Where the views are available means in application folder. What is the application folder? Data app. See, within the data app you can see these views available here. So what I should say, from data app, from data app. See that application name, if it is in uppercase, give uppercase. From data app, import from data app, import not data, import views. Views is there, views.py is there, right? This views.py is available where? In data app folder. Okay, now imported data app, you have imported repath, you have imported, you have given all this, right? Just I'll copy all this. I'll copy. Don't disturb this already available URLs. Don't delete those. Yes. Let it be as it is. Now just yes. Next, what is the next step? Step 5. Step 5.
Defining function used to
Go to views.py and define function. Go to views.py. Views.py. In which folder? Application or private folder? Application folder. You need to know these things once again. Folder, right? Go to views.py in application folder and define view function. With what name? Input. Input. Why? Because you already specified the function call there. Views.input is your function call. Definition here you are defining. Understanding? Now go to that and say go to views.py. Go to views.py. Let this up. Let this be. Later we'll discuss about render. What is render? Render. Okay. If you have got a small HTML code, means keep within the Python code itself. If you have got a very big HTML code, if you want to display some table or if you want any forms, right, write separate HTML file. So for that render you will say go to the other HTML file. Later I discuss about those, but now try to say how to define function using a keyword called def. With what name? Input. Why input only? Because we have already specified the name. See, it is showing two blue colors here. Can you see? For URLs and views.py here up. Can you see some circles with blue colored? Means what does that indicate? Not saved. Okay, views.py we still we didn't do, but urls.py completed, right? You go click it and save it. Control yes. If you're not saving, it keeps on giving the error. URL is not specified, URL is not specified, right? In that way it gives, right? Def input. def input, right. Now what I should write? First, how to display date? Just now I said, right? Import statement for date time. Import date time. Import date time. The module called date time. In Python, we have got a module called date time module, like math module, OS module, right? Date time module, right? Yes. Okay. Date equal to, yes. Date equal to what is that? How to display the date? Just now I showed, right? One date time dot date time, not now, right? So now candidate date time is the module name, class name, method name. Okay, date time dot date time dot now. Later I'll discuss that what exactly it is in Python. In Python, I'll be discussing about a date time module. Okay, date I printed. You got a date, right? Now return HTTP response. HTTP response is a single word. Everyone try to answer. HTTP response, and H should be in uppercase, R should be in uppercase. And response means it is SC, not CE. Like, okay. Some of yesterday was writing CE, right? Date is not a keyword. We doesn't have any keyword date. If date keyword is there, it should appear in orange color. Okay, fine. Return HTTP response. Okay, fine. HTTP response. Now write that HTML code. So if you say date means that date will be displayed without any font color. Date means date will be displayed. Date is what type here? What data type? If I say type of date, date type only. What type it will be? Date type only. It is not string type. Convert to string type. HTTP response, does it belong to this render? Means no. For whenever you are using this HTTP response, you try to import one more module. What is that? From DJANGO.http, from DJANGO.http import HTTP response. From DJANGO.http import HTTP response, right? HTTP, you can get here, you can just select this from DJANGO.http. So these things always the same. Whenever you are using HTTP response, we need to import this from DJANGO.http import HTTP response, right? Yes. Now HTTP response date. Date means it is date type. Convert to string type. Typecast in Python. How will you typecast? str of date. Str of date. Okay. Later I'll come back to this str of date, right? But first I want to write some HTML code, right? To display in font and different font and colors, right? What is that? Keep, if you want to write HTML code within this Python, .py file. Keep everything right within the double quotes. See, in Python, I said you can go with single quote, double quote, or triple quote. In Python, a string is represented using single, double, or triple. Why to go for that means? See, within a double quote, we cannot use a double quote. Within a double quote, another double quote you cannot have, but you can have single quote. Okay, double quote. Okay, fine. Just observe HTML body BG color, background color for the web page I want as red color. Red color, if you are giving, don't use double quotes, use single quote, because you cannot have double quote. BG color equal to red. Most of you will be doing mistake here, giving double quotes, you will get error here. Body BG color equal to red. Text, what is the text? What is that? One is BG color is red, one other one is what? Text. Text equal to yellow. Okay, next h1 tag. H1 tag display date, right? Current date, current date, current date, DAT, right? Current date, keep colon. Current date will be displayed in H1 means bigger heading. H1 means what? Bigger heading. H2, H3, H4 means smaller headings. Current date. Next. str of no. That is Python variable. This is HTML, right? Both you cannot. So what you will do is you double quotes, close the double quotes here. You have started the double quotes here and end the HTML code here. End the HTML code here. Its entire thing is one string, right? Double quotes you have kept in double quotes. It's a string in Python. Now current date means the date should be printed. Now Python variable to be printed. What is that? str of date. H1 tag we are supposed to close, right? Slash H1 slash H1, right? Okay. Place str of date. I won't close H1 here. I won't close H1 body HTML. I'll close later, right? Now I'm concatenating this string with our string date. Okay. Next, place one more string. I'll concatenate. I'll concatenate with one more string. What is that? Keep double quotes and slash H1 slash H1 slash body slash HTML, right? Close it. Close the double quotes and close this. HTML body BG color text yellow current date. Date D we have taken in lowercase, right? Date should be in lowercase. Python is case sensitive. Now close this bracket. not angular bracket. HTTP response function, right? Normal bracket. In this way, normal bracket. Finished? Yes. That's it. Return HTTP response. Any import statements? Yes. I'm copying this code, right? Yes. Control C. Yes, tag is not closed. HTML is not closed, right? Yes. Step 5 finished. Next step 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8 will be common to all the things, right? Step 6 is what? Yes. Step 6 is migrate. Try to migrate. Sorry. Render not used in your project, in your application means render now I won't be using. It doesn't mean this urls.py admin is there now itself use admin means no. When required later in our applications, bigger applications, we'll be using this admin site. The same way render also, right? For bigger HTML files, I'll use render. For small HTML files, write within a double quotes and I'll write in Python itself. Understand? Now save it. Here you can see this blue color, right? Still not saved. Control S. Now Control S. Saved, right? Now migrate. How to migrate? Yes, try to say. But you'll do one mistake here. What mistake is? You are currently in which folder? Data. But whatever you want to perform, you should perform from which one? Project folder. My project, right? Come out of this data app first. CD dot dot. Come out of this data app. Come out of this data. Now in my project folder, now try to say what is that command? Python manage.py manage.py migrate. Migrate, if you say it, if it is saying applying means all these are getting applied. But instead of applying, if it is giving any error, it says you have got some error. Just to say applying, it is saying, right? Means applying all these things, no error. Otherwise, some of you might be getting some errors. Check it. Single quote missing, double quote missing, or it will show that in which line you got that error. Anyone got? Go to that line and check that error, right? If anybody has got. Otherwise, what is the command? Manage.py migrate. If anybody has got errors, you can share your screen. Just yes. Control V, right? Yes. Migrate. Step 6. Step 7. Step 7 is what?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I got error. Can I show my screen, sir?
Your name?
Jayant.
Yes, I made you as a presenter, right? You can just present your screen, right? Yes. Present your screen, right?
Here it is.
Maximize that. Go to the, see here, go to the top left corner of your command prompt and increase the font. One small black color icon is there. Click that icon, black color icon. Yes. Top left corner, small icon. Yes. Click there and go to properties. Go to properties down. Yes. Increase the font. There, second, and the top you can see font. Top. Yes. Top. Yes. Font you click and just set the font to 28 or something. 28 or 28. Set OK. Okay. Now no module name data app. No module name data app, right? In which one it is saying clearly? From DJANGO.htp import HTTP response, right? Go to views.py. Go to your views.py, right?
Yes, sir. Is.py. Maybe folder name.
Yeah, input request you need to give. Input request. DEF input request.
Okay.
Again, save it, Control S, and again go to that command prompt. Go to command prompt. Yes. Minimize this. Yes, and just up arrow use. Up arrow use previously typed command. You will get up arrow mark. In your keyboard, up arrow use. Up arrow is there. Up down arrow. Left, right, up and down. Up arrow you can click
Yes,
and
sir.
say enter. Say enter. No module name date app. What is your application name? Date app or the
Yes, sir.
module not found error? No module name date app.django is okay. 1 second. Show me that error. Just minimize it. Maximize this. Go to your urls.py. From data app import views. One second. Show me that error again. Have you got Django installed in your system?
Yes, sir.
No module named data app.django. Module not found error from Django. No. You just go to views.py. Go to views.py.
Yes, sir.
From django.http, what you are given? From django.http.
HTTP import HTTP response.
From what you are given?
Dot. Okay, sir. They have put.
Don't give the dot. From
Okay.
django.http import HTTP response. There is no dot before. Now up arrow and say yes. Yes,
Okay,
applying, right? Stop sharing your screen. Stop sharing your screen, right?
Stop this game.
So anybody has got error?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. So one thing here, DF input request we need to pass here. Input request compulsory. Input request for DF input. Now it is not giving anything, right? But when you are running, when you are giving request in the browser, it won't work. Here also request. Try to change here, right? Request input request. So what was the error done by him? From dot he has kept. From dot DJANGO. Okay, no need of dot. It is from DJANGO dot HTTP. Still anybody got error? Yes. Yes. Okay, fine. Input request. No need to add response. We are giving response, HTTP response, right? No, only request need to be added. Next, what is the next step?
That's
Run server, right? Yes. Okay. How to run the server? See, up arrow is there, right? Up and down arrow. Up arrow. You click it. Previously typed command you will get. Just remove that migrate and say run server. Py manage.py run server. Your server will run now, right? Keep it in minimized mode. Okay. So py manage.py run server. At the last, you should see this HTTP. This is that IP address and this port number, right? Control C. I'm just pasting it. What is that? Run server. Okay. Next, giving request, right? Giving a request. Giving request in the browser. Giving request in the browser, right? Yes. Now try to see how to give request in the browser. You can copy this. Everyone, you can copy this, right? This is there, right? HTTP, this one. First select it and say Control C. Without selecting, if you say Control C, your server will stop. Control C is the command to stop your server. Okay, copy it. After copying, open your browser window. Open your browser and open one. Okay, and just say click Control V, right? Yes. Paste your URL there, right? Understood. Then what is your URL? You are given. What is the URL you are given in urls.py? What is that? Date.
Date.
If you are given date.com or www, whatever you are given, specify it. Date, right? Now if I say date, it should display it, right? Second. Error. One, what is that? Where that error? Here I didn't save it, right? Here your views.py is not saved. Can you see this blue color? Views.py is not saved. Control S you say. Control S. If any error gets, if you got any modifications, you do that modifications. Just you can go to this. You can just go to your browser, refresh your browser. Current date is 17/4/2022, 11/7. What is the time? 11/7. Understood, right? Now what is the time? 11/8, right? What is the time? Refresh it. Just refresh. 11/8 you got. In afternoon, if you execute this program, it will show us the afternoon date, right? In this way, dynamically. Understood? Got that output, right? So if you do any changes, just to go and refresh it. No need to again start server, migrate. No need to all those. Understanding? If you got any error in your code, right? Modify that code. Just go and refresh it. No need to start server, migrate. No need to all the steps again, right? Everyone got it? Yes. Try to say yes or no in the chart panel.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. Server is running, right? So you can copy this. What you are copying? This is that you are copying, and you are saying date. You can specify any URL here. Go to this and specify a URL. Date you are specified, or any other URLs. Keep comma, and one more URL I'll specify. One more URL I'm trying to specify here, right? Yes. What is that? Anything, any other URL like www.date.com. or keep comma and give any other name, right? Control V. So specify any URLs. Specify any URLs. For example, current date I'm saying. Current date I'm saying here. If you give any of these three URLs, it will get opened, right? Control S, you say. Control S. Okay. What is this input means? Views dot input. You are giving function call input in the views dot py file. Input function you have defined. You are calling it here. Whenever that current date, if you give this URL, this input function in views dot py should be executed. Here also the same function, input function in views dot py to be executed. Input function in views dot py need to be executed, right? Yes. Fine. Now just go and go to the browser. See here, open a new browser window. Close that previous one. Open a new browser window, right? See, where is that? What is this views dot input means? In views dot py, input function is available. Go and check here in the application folder. Views dot py available. In the views dot py, input function available, right? That's why we give views dot input. Whenever I give that URL date.com, what function means this input function should be executed in views. That's why I given views.input beside that URL. Yes. Yes. So whenever you give this, right, that within the views input function, or if any other function there, that also need to be executed. Views.input, views.input. So whenever I give this date.com in the browser, right, it is going to display something. What will be displayed means the output of this function. Where this function available in views dot input. So whenever you give this URL, what to be executed means go to views dot py, in that input function go and execute. I'm saying. So in that views dot py input function is there, right? That go and execute it. For all the URLs, whatever I've given, execute the same thing. Views dot input, views dot input, views dot input. If I give this input function, only execute for this input function. But if you have defined three functions in views.py, for this execute input function, this one display function, for this some other show function. Next I'll discuss those also, multiple functions within the views. Understanding, right? Any query here, anyone? Okay, fine. Now go and open this browser once. We can also, in one way of one thing is you need to copy this. Whenever you start server, you have copied this and you have pasted, right? Otherwise, http colon // you can do this. Everyone, you can type this colon / localhost colon 8000 is the port number where you are. See, http colon / localhost colon 8000 is the port number of DJANGO slash. What is your did you save this or not? Check it once. Yes, saved or not, right? Saved, everything got saved. Now 8000, what is your URL pattern? date you can give, current date you can give, www.date.com you can give, right? www.date.com, enter. It should display the current date and time, right? Hmm? Localhost 8000 date.com. See that server is running, right? Check it. Everyone got it? If you got localhost 8000, if you have given date.com, right? Yes. For me, it's many, what I opened many windows, right? It's taking time. Check it once, it will work. Localhost colon 8000 date.com. Otherwise, can you current date also? Try to give current date. Current date you give. Got? It will display that current date also. It will be displaying it. Yes. Date. You can use this also. It works, right? Date. And don't forget to keep comma here whenever you are giving multiple URLs, right? Separated by comma. Localhost also will work. Once again, I'm saying localhost also will work. Otherwise, you copy this entire thing and you can paste. Understood, right? Any queries you got? Anyone? Creation of application, right? The steps how to create a project folder, application folder. Starting server, giving request in the browser, right? Now next, in this way you can give, or this also you can give, right? Request. I'm just copying both. Okay, this or this. Current date. Yes. Okay. So here I'm going to write, see what are the things we'll be discussing next. See, a project with single view, a project with single view, single view function. A project with multiple view functions. Okay, just observe this. A project with single view function. If you don't specify the URL name and we try to give only this local, then what happens? Without URL name, okay, the query is without URL name, just if you give the localhost 8000, right? Okay, page not found. 1 second. You'll get this. Otherwise, 1 second. You will get this. What you are going to get is, if you are not giving the URL name and if you are just giving this, right, empty URL, you will get page not found. You will get page one not found. And if you see in this urls.py, the first one admin is there. Admin URL. Here we have given date.com current date. Admin is there. Once you try to say admin, here try to give admin. Login username and password you will get. DJANGO administration username and password you will ask. Admin you give. Instead of giving date there, give admin and say enter. Yes, every project will have its username and password. Later I discuss how to work with this user, how to create this username and how to create the password and how to enter into your project. Actually, this DJANGO administration. So every project by default you will see that, right? We have not created it. Always it will be there first. Later I'll show you that how to enter into that once we are done, right? So what I was saying, a project with single view function, that is what we have discussed, that application now. A project with multiple view function. Okay, you can try it out. Later I'll show you this example on this multiple view function. Just I'll say how to work on it, everyone. A project with multiple application. A project with multiple application. A project with multiple applications. Multiple applications means, yesterday I worked with demo app. Today I worked with the data app. So with a single project, 2 applications I'll create. Data app, demo app. Means I need to write that command 2 times. Py manage.py stat app, demo app. Next again manage.py. What is that? Data. But views.py. Okay, there is some small logic you need to see there. And one more, a project with multiple okay. A project with multiple view functions, a project with multiple applications, reusing a application in another project. Yesterday's application, the demo app, I want to use in today's project. So reusing a application in another project. Yes. So here you can just work with the second one, right, everyone? A project with multiple view function. Go to views.py and you have specified only input function, right? You can specify input 1, input 2, input 3, 3 functions, and display something. Welcome to Python in 1. Welcome to DJANGO world in 1. Welcome to Python in 1. Welcome to Java in 1, right? 3 functions, display 3 things. 3 functions if you are defined means how many URLs? 3 URLs. In the first URL, display some URL for Python. Say Python URL. For second one, DJANGO URL. Specify. Third one, Java URL. So while giving in the request, if you give Python URL, Python function will be executed. It means that input 1 will execute. Understand this? A project with multiple view function means everyone try to do this as an task, right? Later I'll show you in the next session. So here df This views.py file, right? Views.py file. def input one function, http response. Say here, hello Python. Okay, in that finally it should print. def input to hello DJANGO, or welcome to DJANGO. Okay, def input 3, this one function, this one function, this one function, hello Java. Okay, for these 3 functions means 3 URLs I need to specify. 3 URLs. Understanding? Where you will specify URLs, you know. Here for this, start with or give Python as the URL. Yes, comma views dot input 1, right? For this, or DJANGO views dot input 2. For this, or starts with Java. You can, any URL you can give views dot input 3. Okay, fine. In request, URL request slash Python, if you give, right, http localhost, all this Python means Python function executes. If you give here DJANGO function executes. If you give Java function executes. Understanding everyone, right? Try to implement this, right? And yesterday's application, today's application, without seeing, try to create one separate project, right? Everyone, without seeing, try to do all those steps, yesterday's and today's, and also try to implement this, right, for your practice. Anyhow, I will show you in the next session, in the next class, right? Yesterday I showed you the installations, IDE installation. Still, if anyone not done, try to do this. I'll forward you the video and this notes, right? So in the next Saturday, I'm going to discuss this second, third, and fourth. All these three applications I'll be showing you, right? Yes. Which one? Multiple view functions, multiple applications, application in another project. These 3 I'll be showing you next. Okay. Next. Yes. Yes. Fine. Okay. So if you are doing parallelly, if you're understanding, it will be interesting only, right? Yes, Malesh. Yes, if you're doing parallelly, but if you watch these sessions, you cannot, right? You need to understand. So in the coming sessions, we'll be seeing about more settings.py files. I'll be going into that, and after that, settings.py, admin.py, models.py, many other py files I'll be touching it. As of now, I touched only 2 py files, which are the urls.py and views.py. Next, we'll be seeing about settings.py, if any settings related, and admin.py, models.py, forms.py, many files are there, right? And if you got a bigger HTML tables I want to display, then separate HTML files we are supposed to create one dot html file. Where will we save your dot html file in your project? You need to know that, right? Fine. So okay, so more discussion on this will continue in this next Saturday and Sunday. I'll be, if possible, I'll take 3 hours, right? Why? Because today also I thought of taking, but there was request from some students, like because of Easter they were requesting the Easter festival. Okay, next Saturday, if possible, I'll take 3 hours on Saturday, 3 hours on Sunday. Fine. We'll see applications means it takes a little bit time, right? So if you are doing parallel along with me, fine. So you can, I'll forward that. Okay, I'll forward the video and application, right? Notes to you. I'll keep in the group. You can go through it. Fine. Okay, fine.
Recording stop.
Okay. Yeah, any queries you have got, right?